Joining us right now, a friend of mine, a friend of yours out there in Canada, in Ottawa, a guy right now that is making noise once again in the NASL with San Francisco Deltas, Marc Dos Santos. Marc, welcome, my friend.
Hi, Anthony. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much again, Marc, for making time. We really appreciate it, my friend.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Whenever you need me, I'm here. Thanks, man.
You're a class act. Let's talk about San Francisco. Great ownership people there. Outstanding group of fans that have come out to support you early on. You're sitting in second spot. You're playing a big game against the New York Cosmos, the world-famous Cosmos, on Saturday. Talk about this squad before we talk to you a little bit about grassroots issues and some of the Canadians. Kyle Becker, Nana Atakora, who was training with my son not too long ago. All sorts of good stuff. Talk about it, Marc.
Yeah, Anthony, look, it's been a process, starting a team from scratch and an expansion team is never easy because you get 22, 23 players with a different idea of play from different managers, different clubs, and then you have to quickly make them into one group with one idea, one DNA. It takes a little bit of time, but we brought experienced players. I think we have in the roster guys that have played in the MLS and the NASL, and they have the experience to understand the message clearly. We're trying to be very clear and coherent with the way we coach and the way we give them the model of play and what we want from them, and that has helped. Of course, it's a very difficult league. It's a very difficult season. Only having 8 teams means that anybody could beat anybody in any given day. There's no much difference between the 8th place and the 1st place. So we know that we have a lot of work to do, but we started well. We had 2 games on the road where we tied 0-0. We tied 1-1 against Indy. We beat North Carolina 3-1. And now, we feel we're ready in our best moment to play New York home. So hopefully we'll get a good result on Saturday.
Marc, one of the toughest challenges, I believe, you can tell me if I'm wrong, I think the travel this year with this new club of yours, this expansion team, is going to be a challenge. How important is the mindset and also, the physical conditioning of these players, since they're going to be on the plane quite a bit, to New York, to Edmonton, on and on. It's going to take a toll on your guys.
Yeah, the accumulation of it could become difficult, but I think our human performance department is very, very good. I have somebody with me that his name is Kyle Thorne. I would bring him anywhere I would go. He's for me the best or top there in North America in his job. And we know exactly what we have to do when we go on the road. We try to get in very late. Let's say if we play in New York, we try to get in very late. So we're still in the West Coast time zone, and then when we play the game and we let the guys sleep in the day of the game, well, it doesn't affect a lot because we're still doing everything in the West Coast time zone, and all the sleeping pattern and the times we arrive in the East Coast has made it actually that we finish the games healthy, with energy, going at the opponent. So in the first 2 away games, we never felt fatigue. And, I'm not a guy that wants to use excuses. I know we're traveling a lot. We're the soccer team that's going to travel most this year in North America. But at the end of the day, we went on 2 road games. We tied both, and we're confident that we're going to stay strong.
Marc, let's talk about the grassroots issues I want to talk to you about, and that's our under-17 team here in Canada, not qualifying once again for a major tournament. And not too long ago, a couple months ago, a young national team of Canada not qualifying. And I got to tell you, I'm just disgusted, I'm upset, and I'm sick and tired of excuses. So I wanted to have you on. You've spent a ton of time in Brazil. You spent a ton of time in Canada, in Europe, and now in the USA. You understand the cultures and the mentality of 4 different countries and 4 different regions all over the world. To me, I want to start with you on this, with the head coaching situation. I, for the life of me, don't understand when a former player gets basically put into a role where I believe is a role that should be given to someone that has been coaching for years and years, an opportunity of coaching an under-17 and under-20 team. I don't know where you stand on that, but I think everyone that wants to get involved in the coaching trade, in the coaching profession, needs to do a lot of learning before they get the position of a head coach of a national team. Maybe I'm wrong, Mark. You?
Look, Anthony, I'll tell you like this. First of all, I don't know very well the people. So the coaches of the U17, U20, I don't know them enough to give an opinion on the coaching side. But to touch your point regarding a lot of ex-players becoming coaches right away, I'll just tell you this: the process to become a coach is hard. It's very, very hard. If you're an ex-player, you have valuable and exceptional experience that is very important as a player. But the reality is, when you become a coach, all the realities are very different. There's the methodology side, there's the physiology side, all regarding management, organizing the week, organizing training, knowing what you want from training sessions, and how training has to mirror the model that you want your team to have. There's so many things that I feel now I'm in my 10th season, and I'm still learning and I'm still growing. So I don't know how players are able to get out and right away accept the position and become coaches. I see it not only at the national level. I see it in the MLS. I see it in other leagues in North America, and I totally disagree with it. But the other side is a little bit also, Anthony, the pressure side. I think in Canada we're still very nice. There's still a lot of people that don't make it and don't make it and don't make it, and they stay with positions for years and years. Look, I'll give you an example in Brazil. With Palmeiras, I was 28 games without a loss, and we lost 1-0 home against Corinthians. That is our biggest rival. I thought I was getting fired, and you're talking a U16 team. I thought there was a moment in the week I was a lot under pressure because we lost against Corinthians home, and it was our only loss in 29 games. So I think in Canada there's still a lot of comfort zones, so the coach cannot maximize himself because he's always in a comfortable position, Whatever, if we don't qualify, I'll probably renew my contract for 4 years.
That's absolutely wonderful that you said that. God bless you. I'm glad that you gave an example like that, because I don't think people realize, but you just told people example that you gave of winning so many games in a row. You lost against a big rival. You were afraid to lose your job. In Italy, in Portugal, in Spain, you do not, I repeat, you do not go with the mentality of, well, we gave it our best. We got this great experience under our belt. We'll do better next time. No, you're gone. You're shown the door, and the next people come in. Our mentality in this country has to change, Mark. How do we do that? How do we get the culture ingrained in our teenagers that it's all about winning? No longer about, well, here's a little trophy, here's a medal, you finished second place, it's okay.
Well, I think it has to come from we're talking about the national teams and the youth national teams. It has to come a lot from the leadership there. I don't know, I'm not sure who holds who accountable because I don't know who really follows the youth national program. So it's very difficult for me to give an assessment. But when I look at the qualifiers and I look at the U17 or U20, my question is more related to the players. And what I mean by that is, do we have the best players in the U17 national team? Do we have the best players in the U20 national team? And I'll give you an example. We have 3 academies. If we just go with the 3 academies, well, you're talking about 60 players per age group. When Argentina built that team with Peckerman, the Saviola generation that won the World Cup with Peckerman had players in Boca Juniors, River Plate, Racing, Independiente, a lot of quality. But he said that he still mapped out all of Argentina to see if he was missing out on a very good third or second division U20 player that nobody saw. And my question always with Canada is, are we really mapping out well the country? Are we letting on the side players that are actually better than others that are in the national team program. Because a lot of players that are not in the academies, they don't go because they don't want to change school, because there's another option for the family, and then they end up not going to the academies, and then you don't have them in the national team. So this is all things that I question more on are we bringing the best players? That I don't know. I'm not in the national program to really, be aggressive with that.
No, but you're bang on, Mark. And that's what I said at the beginning of the show. Are we going all across this country to look at every academy, every youth club to say, hey, maybe I found a gem. Maybe I found a diamond here out in the west coast of Canada or the east coast that nobody has given a shot to. Maybe I can bring this young man into this program to see if he has what it takes. No, we keep looking at the same 3 or 4, and this is where we're at. The other thing is this, Mark. I know you're a busy guy. I won't keep you much longer, but I want your thoughts on this. The USA, Mexico, Panama, Brazil, Italy, Portugal, when they get together on under 17 and under 20, I know for a fact that they spend months and months together training, eating, talking, analyzing, discussing. They go through psychological tests. They go through fitness, on and on. And then when it comes to these qualifying competitions, they're going to tear your eyes out. We don't have that. We put together our players for 2 weeks together, and then I will defend the coach and say, here, qualify. That's not right either, Mark.
No, it's very difficult to do that. It's very difficult to prepare a team. But again, what are the objectives? What are the objectives? Is the objective really to make it into the U17 World Cup? Because look, the teams that really want to make it, they go above and beyond. That's what I believe in. But Anthony, just coming back to the player situation, who knew about Marc Anthony Gonzalez or Amir Didic a year ago? These are 2 players that were lost, never played U15, U17, or U20 for Canada, did 1 year with Soap Park Rangers, and now they're in the U23 national team. So I always get back to that. First, we have to make sure we map out well the country, from east to west, north, south. Are we looking at all the best players? And after, we need to make sure, is the project and the plan really to be in the World Cup U17 and U20? If it is, well, we have to review preparation for sure. Look, Anthony, I'll give you an example with Germany, okay? Of course, you're talking about a big nation, and you can't compare, and I'm just giving you an experience I had when I was with Desportivo Brazil in São Paulo. Germany came to the World Cup, and they sent Joachim Low and one of their managers to see the facility of Desportivo Brazil. And one of the things they analyzed, they said, okay, but if we come here and we stay here for the preparation to the World Cup, we need to bring our ovens, our fridges, our tables. Everything has to be painted white. Like, the details of these guys were so big that nobody had an academy for them. So Germany ended up building their own little academy for the World Cup with walls, ovens, fridges, tables, all coming from Germany, cooks from Germany. And of course, I'm giving a big example, but they ended up winning the World Cup in Brazil because they were almost obsessed by that, obsessed by winning the World Cup. And I just think, you know what, if you want to really put your heart and your soul and your spirit on qualifying for the World Cup at the young levels, you need a better preparation, that's for sure.
Mark, I love talking to you. It's always a pleasure having you on. I wish you nothing but success in bringing home a title to San Francisco Deltas. Please say hello to Kyle Becker, Nana Atakora. And again, it has been a pleasure having you on because you're like an encyclopedia. When we talk grassroots, you're the guy that can discuss it and analyze it. And again, I really appreciate your thoughts and analysis looking from the USA and from your eyes, spending the time in Brazil, in Europe. And it's so important that we hear someone like you give your thoughts and opinions. Mark, thanks again, and good luck the rest of the season, my friend.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Nice speaking to you. Take care.